What I'm showing you is a help video I created for my students, and it's an accessibility disaster. If I had created this video with accessibility in mind from the start, I wouldn't have to remake it now. Sometimes making videos accessible isn't a simple matter of just adding captions afterward. Hi, this is Maggie from Design Code Debug Repeat. In this video, I'll explain why, and I'll show you several different ways to create good captions, even for content you didn't create. Let's start with a quick overview of what captions are and what the WCAG 2.1 captioning guidelines are, and then we'll look at different captioning methods. This video has chapters, so feel free to jump ahead to how if you already know the what and the why. And a quick disclaimer, I'm not an accessibility expert, so if you notice anything incorrect, please let me know. I want to get this right. Captions are defined as a synchronized text alternative for both speech and any non-speech audio needed to understand the content. In other words, captions are not just dialogue. They also include things like music, laughter, or a dog barking. If multiple people are speaking, the caption should identify who's speaking. If information is conveyed through sound, it needs to be included in the captions. If information is conveyed visually, it needs to be described, either in the audio itself or through audio description. Closed captions are captions that can be turned on or off, whereas open captions are part of the video. Closed captions are preferable because they can be edited, translated, and customized. To make pre-recorded videos accessible under accessibility guidelines, there are three main things you need to think about. Captions for people who can't hear the audio description for people who can't see the visuals, and in some cases, a full text alternative. If you're working with the guidelines directly, these correspond to success criteria like 1.2.2, 1.2.3, and 1.2.5 in WCAG 2.1. In this video, I'm going to focus on building accessibility directly into the video itself. But to meet the highest accessibility level, you may also want to provide a full alternative format, something more like a screenplay or written document that includes both dialogue and description. Let's get to the how. Captioning process 1, writing a transcript first. This is my preferred workflow. Before recording your video, write a transcript. It takes a little extra time, but your video will be more organized, clearer, and more accessible. Writing a transcript forces you to think through structure, language, and anything you need to research. When I record on the fly, the result can feel authentic, but it's usually longer and less organized. Those spontaneous moments can still be valuable, especially for things like demonstrating an authentic problem-solving scenario through making mistakes, backtracking, and debugging. But with a little planning, you can incorporate those moments into a more structured and accessible video. One thing you should focus on in writing your transcript is description. This is where my help video fails utterly. Here's an example from the video. Close your eyes and try to figure out what I'm talking about. And if I try to look at that in a text editor, this is what I get. This is one moment in this video where it fails accessibility. Any guesses what I get? We shouldn't have to guess. Accessibility means the viewer should not have to infer missing information. There's important visual information in this part of the video that I'm not describing. If I had written a transcript first, I might have said, if I open a class file in a text editor, I see a mix of printing and non-printing characters. There's nothing wrong with the file, it just isn't meant to be read by people. That description makes the content accessible, and it actually helps all viewers by focusing their attention on what matters. So, When you write your transcript, plan your visuals, describe anything that contributes to meaning, and integrate that description organically into your narration. This not only makes your video accessible, it also makes it clearer and more effective. Once you've created your transcript, save it as a plain text file. Then record your video. If you make changes while recording, go back and update your transcript so it matches. Once you've produced the video, you'll have two files, your video file and your transcript file. Now I'll show you how I upload a video and add captions in YouTube Studio. When you upload your video, most of the fields, the title and description, are straightforward. The important step for accessibility is setting the video language. If you don't set the language, the captions options may be unavailable. Once the language is set, you'll see an option to add subtitles. Here, I'm uploading my transcript file. I'm choosing without timing because this is just plain text. YouTube will automatically synchronize it with the audio. On the left, you can see the full transcript loaded in. After I confirm this step, YouTube processes the captions and aligns them to the video. After the upload is complete, it's important to review the captions. So after some period of time, open the Captions editor and you will see the transcript broken into segments with timestamps. I can adjust those segments so they line up correctly with the audio if I need to change them. A quick way to check whether your captions are active is to play the video and turn captions on. If you see auto-generated, then your uploaded captions are not being used yet and you'll need to go back and edit or publish them. So that is the ideal, creating accessible video content by design. But suppose you already have a video and you need to add captions. That brings us to captioning process 2, adding captions to an existing video. In YouTube, if I turn captions on and see English auto-generated, then the video has the auto-generated captions, which simply aren't sufficient for accessibility. They often lack punctuation, capitalization, speaker identification, and non-speech information. In many cases, they're simply wrong, and they can be wrong in ways that make them impossible to understand. In YouTube Studio, I open the video details and go to the subtitles section. From here, I have a few options. I can upload a file if I already have a transcript, or I can type captions manually, or edit the auto-generated captions. I usually prefer typing them myself rather than editing auto-generated captions because it gives me more control over accuracy and formatting, but I'll briefly show you both approaches. To create captions manually, I choose the option to type them while the video plays. At this point, the main task is simple. I play the video, listen, and type what I hear. YouTube lets me pause, rewind, and adjust playback speed so I can match the video to my typing pace. As I work, I can save a draft and come back later. When I'm finished, I publish the captions so they appear with the video. Now, there's an important limitation to be aware of here. If the original video is missing description of important visuals, I may realize while I'm captioning that something needs to be explained. For example, earlier I said, "This is what I get," without describing what was on the screen. In a situation like that, there may not be enough time in the video to add that missing information, and captions alone can't fix that problem. At that point, I have two options: create a new, more accessible version of the video, or provide an alternative format that includes both the dialogue and the missing descriptions. This is why writing a transcript before recording is such a strong approach. Now, let's look briefly at editing auto-generated captions. If a video already has automatic captions, I can open them in the subtitles section and edit them. I can either work with the captions as timed segments or edit the entire transcript as a block of text. In my experience, this is often slower than writing captions myself. Auto-generated captions usually need significant cleanup, punctuation, capitalization, and sometimes wording before they're usable. When I'm done editing, I can save my changes and publish the updated captions. That's the basic process for adding captions to an existing video. Now, finally, captioning process 3, captioning a video that isn't yours. I use a few videos that I didn't record, and I need a captioning tool that lets me pause and play the video if I want to add captions. Transcribe is an example of a tool you can use that will let you do that. This is a free website. I'll include a link in the description. In this tool, I can choose a YouTube video, like this StatQuest video, and paste the URL in, and then type captions while I watch the video. This tool has keyboard controls to pause, play, or jump back in the video, for example. And I can also adjust the playback speed to match my typing speed. And then I can export these captions as text. Now, with this StatQuest video, unfortunately, there are a lot of important visuals that are not described and that I do not have time to describe. So, although I did write captions of the dialogue for this video, what I'll do now is write an alternative format text file that includes dialogue plus description of the visuals. When you've captioned somebody else's content, it's a great idea to send them the captions so they can add them to their videos, particularly if the captions are sufficient for accessibility. I hope you'll take the following away from this video. Plan your visuals and describe them. Write a transcript before you record. Don't rely on auto-generated captions. And remember that captions alone are not enough for full accessibility. I hope this video helps you create accessible video content for your online courses. It's important work and worth the effort. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. Take care.